नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees. Today we'll discuss something related to Vaishnava character, considering the occasion at hand. Tomorrow we are going to celebrate Sharat Purnima, then Kartik month is going to begin. All these festivals give us great opportunities to perform devotional service with more rejuvenated enthusiasm, excitement. Actually, every day is a festival for a devotee. Every moment is an opportunity to advance in Krishna consciousness and to connect with Krishna. However, just like there are some bumper sales, seasonal sales, and what is that? Clearance sales, where you get some things for discounted prices, where the vendors are being more merciful to you and giving things at discounted rates. Similarly, on festivals like Janmashtami, Radhashtami, Gaur Purnima, during this Kartik month, we have some special opportunities to get Krishna's blessings, more intensified blessings. They are more merciful. But whether it is a service opportunity or participating in a festival, ultimately everything boils down to our consciousness. How much are we utilizing this opportunity? Somebody may take birth in a doctor's family. So that child who has taken birth in a doctor family has opportunity to become a doctor, because day in day out he can see his elders or father treating some patients, or if somebody is born in a business family, he can become a good businessman. So opportunity is there. But if the interests of the person are little different, then opportunity is lost. Similarly, in Bhakti also, when we are living in the association of devotees, when we are living in the company of like-minded devotees, where everybody is prioritizing Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan, Krishna Seva, absorption and sound vibration, when everybody is prioritizing spiritual culture, we have great opportunity to advance in bhakti. But if we misuse it or underutilize it, we'll just miss the chance. As Bhagavatam says, the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 19th chapter, the Devatas are glorifying the fortune of the residents of Bharatavarsha. Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapagana Sadhavo Bhagavatashtadashrayam Nayatra Yagnesha Makhama Hotsava Suresha Lokopi Navaisa Sevyatam. Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga, the place where the nectarian river of Krishna Katha is not flowing, that is not a place which is worth living. Na sadhavo bhagavatas tadashrayah. The place where sincere devotees are not existing, sincere devotees who take shelter of the river of Krishna Katha are not existing, that place is not worth living. Na yatra yagnesha makha mahotsava. The place where great mahotsavas, great festivals honoring the Supreme Lord and His devotees are not being organized, that place is not worth living. The great devatas are saying that a place becomes worthy of living if there is Harikatha, Vaishnava Sangha and festivals. If you don't have access to these three things, even if it is the abode of the king of Devatas, Indra, Suresha Loko. Suresha is the king of Devatas, Loka means his planet. Even if it is the planet of Indra, it's not worth living there. What's the point of going to Swargalok without Harikatha, without Krishna Kirtan, without Vaishnavas association? So Bhagavatam repeatedly emphasizes the importance of being in the association of devotees and serving the Lord. So what helps us or enables us to take advantage of or to take benefit of this Vaishnava association? It's our intent, it's our purpose, and it's our commitment to that purpose. The purpose of everybody's life, every human being is Prema Pumartho Mahan. Shastra said this purpose. The scriptures prescribe that the aim of life is to attain this Panchama Purushartha, which is Krishna Prema. That's the goal set for all of us. Probably most of us are intellectually convinced with this goal. I must attain this goal. Intellectually we are convinced. But although there is intellectual conviction, if there is no sufficient absorption or commitment to attain that goal, if time to time we are getting distracted or deviated or allured by Maya in our attempts to attain that goal, then our progress is little hampered. It becomes slow. And festivals like this, whether it is Kartik month or Sharad Purnima or many other Vaishnava festival, so these festivals come as reminders to us. Please recommit to your goal. Please remind yourself that you are here to attain Krishna Prema, not something else. So festivals remind us. The Krishna Katha that devotees do during festivals remind us. And a sincere, authentic, loyal description of the pastimes connected to the festivals will also inspire us and enthuse us in Krishna consciousness. So it's not just participating in a festival by eating prasadam. Last day of Kartik, dosa party. What is it today? Urad menu. Medu vada, dosa, what else we had in the morning? Uttappa, dahi vada. So this is a part of festival. Feasting is also part of festival. But not just feasting on the menu, but feasting on Krishna Katha. Then feast becomes complete. If you are feeding only the tongue, mouth, if you are not feeding the ears, festival is not complete. Feast is not complete. Because your belly is satisfied, but heart also should be satisfied. You feed the belly through this hole, you feed the heart through this hole, right? Then full nourishment happens, spiritually and physically. And if you are taking prasadam also in right consciousness, that is also spiritual nourishment, but most of the times we get into enjoyment mode. So anyways, it's important that we take advantage of, take benefit of this opportunity to celebrate festivals, to rejuvenate our commitment to the process of bhakti, to again enthuse us to practice bhakti sincerely. these festivals will just shake us up. Sometimes a struggling sadhaka may just go down in sadhana. Chanting is just going down probably. Hearing is, they're sleeping like this while hearing. Our study is also getting little bored. Sadhana. Sadhaka means there is no constant and consistent enthusiasm. Then it's not practice stage. If there is consistency in your sadhana, you are not a sadhaka anymore, you are siddha. So sadhaka means going up and down. There is like, sometimes there is enthusiasm, sometimes you are feeling little lax and all. So when sadhana is going like this and like this, suddenly a festival comes. Then your enthusiasm will go up like this. Especially during festivals, if we hear the pastimes connected to those festivals and carefully, diligently, intelligently, gently identify the principles of devotional service as demonstrated by the Vaishnavas involved in the pastimes connected to the festivals, we can make tremendous amount of spiritual advancement. No Narasimha Chaturdasi is celebrated without an elaborate description of Prahlad Maharaj's qualities. Have you ever celebrated Narasimha Jayanti without glorifying Prahlad Maharaj? Similarly, Sharat Purnima or Kartik month is incomplete without sufficiently meditating on the glories of Yashoda Mata and the gopis of Vrindavan, the younger gopis. Sharat Purnima, all the Madhurya gopis are involved. Damodar month, Damodar Leela is there and Yashoda Mata is involved. So we need to learn the glories of these devotees. So Sharat Purnima is the day where Krishna went to Vamshivat and started playing his flute and attracted the minds of all the gopis. And all the gopis abandoned everything and ran to meet Krishna, to serve Krishna. Pati sutanvayad bhratrubandhavad ati vilanghyate nyachyutagata gati vidastavod gita mohita kitavayoshitah kastyajenishi. Pati, Sutta, Bhratru, Bandhava, all these wonderful devotees of Krishna, gopis of Vrindavan, they have abandoned everything. Their husbands, their children, their parents, Bhratru, their brothers, the social customs, Vedic regulations, they have given up everything to come and serve Krishna and dedicate themselves completely to Krishna. And Srimati Radharani is coming to Krishna on that Sharat Purnima day, Rasalila day, is very beautifully described by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Just like a river flows towards the ocean despite hundreds and thousands of obstacles, when a river is flowing, on the way, in the course of the river, there are so many mountains, hills, forests, towns, villages, cities, trees, dams, bridges, whatever. Somehow the river manages to reach the ocean. Similarly, when these gopis of Vrindavan also were trying to come to Krishna, on the way there are so many obstacles. Parents, other family members, and Vedic regulations, social customs, and specifically their own womanly shy. So they crossed all these boundaries and somehow managed to meet Krishna. They came to serve Krishna. What can a sadhaka learn from this? We may not be able to demonstrate such a high degree of dedication to Krishna at sadhaka level, but we can take some little input, some inspiration from all these great devotees of Krishna, that we have to relinquish things that are unfavorable for bhakti, to adopt things that are favorable to bhakti. And eventually, we need to grow to such greater heights in bhakti where we relinquish all the petty, silly arguments and differences of opinions and any other things that are not core Krishna consciousness, and then commit ourselves to Krishna. It could be scholarship. You may have to relinquish your scholarship. If your scholarship is coming as an obstacle in your commitment to deep Krishna consciousness, in your devotion, if your analytical abilities and tendency to analyze things philosophically is coming as an obstacle for you to commit to Krishna, to keep faith in Krishna, to surrender to Krishna, keep aside your speculation. Jnane prayasamudapasya namanta eva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya varta. Jnane prayasamudapasya. Give up your tendency to cultivate this speculative knowledge. Give up this philosophical analysis. That's required only to develop some conviction on the path. But it need not be with you throughout your journey. Right? Core Krishna conscious philosophy is fine. But there is a lot of speculation, analysis, neti. This understanding of you are not the body should be there with you throughout your life. Right? As yesterday His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj was saying, as you are advancing in bhakti, when you are going to higher and higher levels in bhakti, the basic foundational truths will appear more profound to you. You may think they are foundational, but they are very profound. When somebody is advancing in one's understanding, in one's knowledge, one may think that I am not this body, I understood already. Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter, Bhakti Shastri mein padha tha main. I am doing Bhakti Vedanta now. I am a Bhakti Vedanta student. I am reading 10th canto Bhagavatam, right? All of you are 10th canto students. But don't you think that the lesson of you are not this body relevant to you now? Are you fully convinced and realized that you are not this body? Not yet, right? If you are already realized, my humble obeisances to your lotus feet. Even if you have not realized, my humble obeisances. But still, so this basic eternal truths we have to carry. But there are some extra stuff. Morning Hari Parshad was saying, right? Brahmagnana. Sometimes we get into too much of speculative analysis, unnecessarily asking the historical details and which Manvantara, which AD, which BC. This kind of extra analysis, grammatical analysis, linguistic analysis, historical analysis, geographical analysis, so much. That's okay. You can't understand everything. That you understand first. Then you can understand higher truths. So relinquish your excitement. Try to be Saragrahi, not Bharavahi. Saragrahi means an essence seeker. Bharavahi means a burden carrier. Let's not carry the burden of so much of analytical knowledge. Let's understand the essence and try to apply it in our own lives. That's what is required in life. So thus, sometimes even our own analytical tendencies, speculative analysis, jnane prayasa, we have to give up. That can become an obstacle in our advancement in bhakti. Jnane prayasam udapasya. Udapasya, get out. Just relinquish it. Throw it away. Jnane prayasa. Prayasa means endeavor. Over endeavor to cultivate too much of knowledge. What will you do with all that? Jnane prayasam udapasya. And do what? Namanta eva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya varta. In a mode of surrender, with sincerity in heart, surrender to devotees and hear Harikatha from them. Jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya varta sthane sthitaha shrutigatam tanuvan manobhir ye prayaso jitopyasita istrilokyam. You do whatever you are supposed to do according to your varna or according to your ashram, whatever it is. But dedicate your body, mind and words to the instructions given by great devotees while they are glorifying Krishna. Ye prayaso jitajito pyasitais trilokyam. That Ajita, unconquerable Lord in the three worlds, is easily conquerable when you have this spirit, when you maintain this spirit. We can learn this from the Gopis of Vrindavan. We can learn this from Srimad Bhagavatam. 10th canto. Whose prayer is this? Yes? Brahma's prayer to Lord Krishna. Four-headed Brahma is praying to 6-year-old Krishna with the tears falling from his 8 eyes. As Krishna is holding little curd rice and seeing like this like a small child. But Brahma is crying sincerely. So Gopis of Vrindavan left everything to dedicate themselves to Krishna. As sadhakas, we can give up our petty material attachments and speculative tendencies, argumentative tendencies, quarreling tendencies, or tendencies to get distracted, allured, gossiping tendencies, critical tendencies. It's easier said than done. But we have to help each other to overcome these tendencies. So we have to relinquish these things. That's one lesson we can learn from the gopis. Then the gopis of Vrindavan also argued with Krishna. That does not mean we have to argue with Krishna. Krishna told, Shravana Darshana Dhyanat Mayi Bhavonu Kirtanat Na Tatha Sannikarshena Prati Yatato Grahan. Shravana, Darshana, Dhyana means you hear about me, you see my deity form. Dhyana, you meditate on my deity form. That's how you can always be in touch with me. Not by physical proximity. Krishna said it. Krishna said the same shloka in the 23rd chapter to the Brahmana Patnis. They said, okay, fine, we'll go and do Shravan, Kirtan, Dhyan, Smaran. They left. But the gopis said, we will not leave. They called, Kitavayoshitaha Kastyaje Nishi. You cheater! You called us by playing your flute and you're asking us to go back and do Shravan, Darshan, Dhyan, Kirtan, Vagara. We have transcended that. So while discussing some very exalted topics, we may consciously or unconsciously think that we are also exalted. That is another illusion. We are also on that level, gopis. Just now we have learned what we can learn from the gopis surrender. Later we may say, they argued with Krishna, let me also argue with Krishna. Don't follow everything. Maturity lies in understanding what you have to follow and what you should not follow. What you are qualified for and what you are not qualified for. Gopis did not leave. Gopis continued. So, and they spoke many other things. And on the way, they said, in the middle of Gopi Gita, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Tava Kathamritam. They glorified this whole process of glorifying Krishna. It's like nectar. Tapta Jivanam. This nectar of Krishna Katha is the real life and soul for all living entities. For struggling living entities. Who is struggling? Two types of people. Conditioned souls and advanced devotees, the gopis only. Gopis are suffering now in separation from Krishna. Conditioned souls are also suffering because of separation from Krishna. Separation is there at both places. But the difference is, the gopis realize that Krishna is their master, Krishna is their object of love, and they are suffering out of loving separation from Krishna. Their separation is characterized by remembrance of Krishna. But a conditioned soul separation is characterized by forgetfulness of Krishna. And many other perspectives to this beautiful shloka. If we get into the details, entire class will go in this one shloka only. So in this way, the gopis have demonstrated so much of surrender and love for Krishna. So we can take some inspiration there also. On this Sarat Purnima day, we may not be able to meditate on Rasa Leela 365 days in a year. But on Sarat Purnima day, we can discuss little bit and then take most important practical lessons that are relevant for a sadhaka and try to put them in practice. Right? Moving ahead, in Kartik month, we also have Damodar Leela. So many beautiful perspectives on this pastime. But one thing I want to highlight. When Yashoda Mata was trying to bind Krishna on Deepavali day, she could not bind immediately. Why? Krishna had this Ichha Shakti. Ichha Shakti means what? He has ability to desire. Then Krishna also has Satya Sankalpa Shakti. Means whatever he desires should become true. That is Satya Sankalpa Shakti. So, Mother Yashoda wanted to bind Krishna to teach him some discipline. But Krishna did not want to get bound. He had his plan ready for a whole day. He wanted to steal butter and do a lot of mischief. So, Yashoda Mata was trying to bind Krishna and Krishna did not want to get bound. So, Satya Sankalpa Shakti called Vibhuti Shakti. Vibhuti Shakti manifested in Krishna's belly. And this Vibhuti Shakti was not allowing Yashoda Mata to bind Krishna. What are these Shaktis doing till now? They are there, constantly surrounding Krishna. Constantly surrounding Krishna, these Shaktis are there, waiting for an opportunity to jump in and serve Krishna. But sometimes, some Shaktis don't have an opportunity only to serve Krishna. Because their role is not needed in this pastime. They are not required to participate in this pastime. They maintain a low profile. They were silent. They are sitting there, waiting for an opportunity. Now suddenly this opportunity came. Krishna wanted to play. He did not want to get bound. So Satya Sankalpa Shakti, Vibhuti Shakti, all of them have to come together to somehow ensure that Yashoda cannot bind Krishna. But Yashoda Mata was perspiring. Krishna has seen Mother Yashoda's sincere endeavor to bind Krishna. Sincerity in endeavor to punish Krishna, to punish God. She was trying to bind ropes, and when every time rope is falling 2 fingers short, she is joining another rope, the new extended rope, which is longer than 2 fingers, definitely, is still falling short. She is calling her servants, Lavangavati, Kurangavati, bring more and more ropes. He is joining more and more ropes, and it's inconceivable. It's not that Krishna is expanding himself as Vishwarup. He is the same little child. His waist is as big as Yashoda Mata's fist. Hardly a 2-3-year-old boy. But she is unable to bind Krishna. And she was perspiring. She was determined. Then Krishna has seen her endeavor. Drishtva parishramam Krishna kripayasit svabandhane. Drishtva, seeing, parishramam Krishna. Krishna has seen her endeavor, parishrama. Kripaya, with his intense mercy, he allowed her to bind him. Svabandhane, it's as good as he is binding himself. Why? Because his intention and Yashoda Mata's intention became one. Till now, her desire and Krishna's desire are different. Right? Yashoda Mata's desire and Krishna's desire were different. Yashoda Mata desired to bind Krishna. Krishna did not want to get bound. There is a difference in the desires of the Lord and the devotee till now. In a struggling sadhaka's case also, a sadhaka's desire and the Supreme Lord's desire may be different. The Lord wants you to do something and we are distracted, we want to do something else. Desires are different. Arjuna's desire was different from Krishna's desire. Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight and Arjuna said, I will not fight. And the discussion went on for 18 chapters. Then finally, Arjuna said, Karishye vachanam tava nashto moha smritirlabdha tatpasadan mayachyuta sthitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. It took 18 chapters for Krishna to make Arjuna speak this sloka. Karishye vachanam tava. I will do whatever you are expecting me to do. What is the concluding message of Bhagavad Gita? When a devotee's will aligns with the divine will, that is surrender. What is surrender? Devotee's will aligning with Krishna's will. That is surrender. And Arjuna concluded, means Bhagavad Gita is concluding with Arjuna surrender to Krishna. Arjuna agreeing to act according to Krishna's expectations, Krishna's desire, Krishna's will. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Krishna said this. Arjuna said, yes, I will do this. Karishye vachanam tava, I will do this. So, for all sadhakas like us, we need to constantly endeavor to align our will, align our physical activities, words and mental thoughts with Krishna's will. But in very, very advanced stages, the Lord tries to align His will with the devotee's will. When you align your will with Krishna's will, Krishna will align His will with your will. Right? Lovingly. Krishna did not want to get bound. Then finally Krishna said, Drishtva parisharvam Krishna kripayasi svabandhane. What does it mean? Karishye vachanam tava. My dear mother, Yashoda Mata. Karishye vachanam tava. Till now I was protesting. I was speaking lies. I was arguing with you. You are asking me, who has broken the butter pot? I was not speaking the truth. I was saying that your anklets hit the pot and the pot broke. You were asking me, who distributed butter to the monkeys? I was responding that the one who has created the butter, created the monkeys, has given butter to them. So like that Krishna was giving so many naughty answers. You are trying to bind me till now. But I did not want to get bound. I am using my energies like Ichcha Shakti, Satya Sankalpa Shakti, Vibhuti Shakti, all these Shaktis to create an obstacle in your desire to bind me. Now I surrender unto you, my dear mother. Karishye vachanam tava. You want me to be bound? I will be bound. I will retain my ability to release Nalakuvar and Manigriva from their bondage, but I will not be able to release myself from your bondage. Krishna could not release himself from the bondage around his waist, but he liberated Nalakuvar and Manigriva from their tree bodies. See this irony. This is the extent to which a devotee can love Krishna, and that is the extent to which the Lord can reciprocate with such a surrender devotee. Now, another surrender, the other topic that we started. These energies were waiting for an opportunity to serve Krishna, and when Krishna became little merciful, seeing the perspiration of Mother Yashoda, hard endeavor of Mother Yashoda, then immediately another Shakti of Krishna manifested there. What is that? Kripa Shakti manifested there. Kripa Shakti told, Ichcha Shakti, out. Satya Sankalpa Shakti, stay there. Stay there at the doorstep. No entry. Class is going on. Kripa class is going on. Satya Sankalpa Shakti, Vibhuti Shakti, you have no role to play here. Out, out. Kripa Shakti is there. Queen of all energies of Krishna. So all the energies have to stay away. Sometimes the Lord gives an opportunity to serve Him to some devotee, and He would not give a chance for service to other devotees. What should other devotees do? They should feel envious. Was there a fight between Kripa Shakti and Vibhuti Shakti? Kripa Shakti says, Vibhuti Shakti, out of Krishna's belly. You can't manifest in belly anymore. This is a time for Yashoda Mata to bind. So you have no role to play. Stay there. Stay away. All the Shaktis are cooperating with each other to facilitate Krishna's pastimes. If these Shaktis are fighting with each other, what should Krishna do? Release Damodar Leela and cry in reciprocation with Mother Yashoda? He's busy crying there. Vichara, he just got up in the morning, whole day he's crying. He got up and he cried because Mother Yashoda is not there. Then he came and started drinking milk of Mother Yashoda. These are few moments where he was happy. But Yashoda left him, he cried. While crying, he broke the pot. While crying, he stole butter. While crying, he distributed butter to monkeys. While crying, he ran away and made Yashoda Mata run behind him in the streets of Vrindavan. While crying, he was caught. While crying, he was speaking lies. While crying only, Mother Yashoda is trying to bind him. He's very busy crying throughout Diwali day. Festival day, he's crying. When he's busy crying, how can he solve the quarrel of the Shaktis? Let him cry. That is his pastime. Because Mother Yashoda's love for Krishna is so intense, she is so absorbed in the mood of being a mother of Krishna and identifying Krishna only as her son and not as supreme personality of Godhead, Purna Purushottam Bhagavan Krishna. Krishna was reciprocating with her intense mother love by identifying himself as her son. I am not God. I am not the proprietor of this universe. I am not the master. I am not Bhoktaram Yignatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He forgot that he is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He forgot that he is Bhoktaram Yignatapasam. He kept aside his godhood completely. All the majesty, opulence, grandeur out of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, I must embrace my designation, my upadhi, as a dependent son of Mother Yashoda. He is absorbed in his Leela. And what his servants are supposed to do? Wait for his instruction. If there is an opportunity to facilitate his Leela, they'll jump in. Without any prompting, without any text messages, without any reminders, without any follow-ups, they'll jump in. When the service is over, they'll jump out. They will not unnecessarily bother Krishna. I am here. Prabhu, I am here. Any service for me? When there is a requirement, I will tell you. Hey, Prabhu, kuch seva de do abhi. We seek participation. That's good. Sometimes your service is to keep quiet. You understand? Sometimes not doing service is a greater service than doing service. A confidential meeting is going on. You can't just constantly go there. Any seva, please tell me. Any seva. Your seva is to stand there, not enter the room. That is seva. That's what the energies are doing. All the great energies of Krishna are constantly surrounding Krishna in Vrindavan and waiting for an opportunity to jump in and do service. And when the service is over, they are out. Some Shaktis may not get a chance at all to serve Krishna, but they are happy with it. Totally happy with it. This is what we can learn from Damodar Leela. Apart from hundreds of other lessons and perspectives. Be flexible. Be malleable. Be adaptable. And serve according to the expectations of the Master. Serve in such a way that the Master becomes happy, comfortable, and does what he wants to do. Not that engaging you becomes a headache for him. So you can't be constantly demanding attention from Krishna. You serve as per expectations. We are not here to disturb Krishna, seeking his attention. Fine. He is absorbed in his Leela with Mother Yashoda. Let him do it. What am I supposed to do? Let me wait for an opportunity. So, we have seen a few perspectives of Damodar Leela. If we analyze 1 month of, entire Damodar month will go on just discussing different facets, maybe 30 facets of Damodar Leela. You see prism, you see? You just keep rotating it like this in sunlight. So many colorful rays come out, right? Similarly, you just analyze one pastime. So many perspectives keep coming out. So many lessons keep coming out of this one pastime. Why Krishna is malleable to the will of Mother Yashoda? Because Yashoda Mata is pure devotee of Krishna. She loves Krishna more than anyone else or anything else in the entire planet. So this entire Damodar month gives us an opportunity to meditate on all these sweet pastimes of Krishna and learn what is relevant for us at our stage of bhakti, where we are currently in bhakti. And then go one step forward. Every pastime of Krishna has different layers of understanding. They are revealed to us according to our spiritual advancement, our commitment in bhakti, our eagerness to learn. And we move ahead. In Kartik month, we have Govardhan Puja, which is inaugurated by Krishna in reciprocation with the pride of Indra. So Krishna reciprocated with Govardhan mountain by starting this Govardhan Puja, and Krishna reciprocated with Indra's service by stopping his puja, by substituting his puja with Giri Puja, Govardhan Puja. No demon that has come to Vrindavan has created as much havoc as Indra has created. Keshi came, attacked only Krishna, and frightened few other Vrajavasis. And Arishtasur came, frightened a few Vrajavasis, but Arishtasur did not kill anybody. Just directly attacked Krishna and Krishna killed Arishtasur. Similarly, Putana, Bakasur, Sakatasur, Vatsasur, Vyomasur, all of them targeted Krishna, troubled Krishna. And then few other demons were there, they troubled few other devotees also. But no one has troubled all the Vrajavasis together to this extent as much as Indra did. Indra created a devastating rainfall in Vrindavan, aiming at the death of all the Vrajavasis. Out of his false ego, sheer ego. When a devotee who is within Vaishnava community, spiritual community, is not in proper consciousness, such a devotee in improper consciousness can create more havoc in a spiritual community than an outsider. Most of the issues that happen within a community happen because of lack of unity within the members of the community. Lack of cooperation, lack of camaraderie, lack of trust on each other. You may lack trust on their abilities, that's fine. Different devotees are capable of doing different things. But sometimes if we misunderstand or if we doubt the integrity of a devotee itself, while being self-centric and egoistic, that creates a bigger problem. Or if you don't have the necessary compassion on a fellow devotee and give him the necessary support or encouragement that is needed, especially during his tough times, that's a problem. And especially when we have the tendency to manipulate situations politically, diplomatically, duplicitously, hypocritically, manipulate the situations with selfish intentions and harm other devotees, that's the biggest problem. And all these tendencies come out of false ego. If you are unable to do a service, that's not a problem. If you are egoistic while doing the service, that's a big problem. Indra is like that. Nobody has any problem with Indra's ability to provide rains. As far as efficiency is concerned, Indra is great. He is doing his service nicely. Efficiency wise, no objections, no problem. Nobody has given a feedback to Indra on his efficiency or performance, productivity. All feedbacks Indra is getting, or multiple Indras are getting, only on their character, their pride. Because Indra is proud sometimes, Indra is egoistic, Indra wants to oppress or suppress people, Indra becomes lusty at times, Indra becomes very arrogant and criticizes Krishna. He said, Vachalam balisham stabdham morkham panditamayanam. He's criticizing Krishna. Vachalam, he's a talkative child, mere child, 7-year-old boy. Just because he's talkative and people are just listening to him. These are foolish people. So Krishna wanted to humble Indra. Krishna cannot encourage such tendencies. Apart from this one perspective, there are hundreds of other lessons in Govardhan Leela. So it gives us an opportunity. Damodar month gives us an opportunity to meditate on all these beautiful lessons that we can learn and apply in our own spiritual lives. So Govardhan Puja festival is there. Mahaprasad is there. Hundreds and thousands of items are offered to Giriraj. You may cook items, you may eat them, you may distribute them. All that is great. But apart from that, we can meditate on these beautiful pastimes and refine our character, upgrade our commitment to the path of bhakti, increase our absorption in Krishna's glories. Yashoda Mata service attitude from Damodar Leela, Govardhan service attitude in Govardhan Leela, Vrajavasi's simplicity in accepting Krishna's request to worship Govardhan although they did not understand a single word of the karma mimamsa philosophy that Krishna spoke. Just imagine. Their love overpowered their logic. No logic. When emotion takes over, logic has no role to play. And Krishna's ability to reciprocate with all these devotees. While under Govardhan, with his little finger holding this Govardhan mountain, Krishna is glancing on all the Vrajavasis. He's smiling at them. He's looking at them. When he's seeing Yashoda Mata, Nanda Maharaj and all the elderly Gopas and Gopis, his glances and smiles were very respectful. When he's glancing on the younger Gopas, Madhumangal, Sridhama, Stoka, Krishna, Subal, his friends, the glances are very playful. When he's glancing on Radharani and other younger Gopis, Madhurya Gopis, the glances were little romantic. In all ways, Krishna is reciprocating with all these devotees. Because he's Akhila Rasamrita Murti, Raso Vaisaha, Rasa Raj. He's Rasa personified. He's the king of all rasas. He's the reservoir of all rasas. See Krishna's ability to reciprocate with our sincerity. But do we have the ability to cultivate that sincerity? We can ask this question to ourselves on Govardhan Puja Day. Do we have a service attitude like the Shaktis of Krishna that are constantly surrounding him and looking for an opportunity to serve him? We can ask this question on Diwali Day to ourselves. We can meditate on this theme. So there are so many pastimes, and Gopashtami is there, another pastime. And every day we are singing Damodarashtakam, and we can meditate on the meanings of Damodarashtakam. Varam deva moksham na mokshavadhim va nachanyam vrineham vareshadapiham idam teva purnatha gopala balam sada me manasya virastam kimanyeh. Varam deva, oh Lord, please give us a benediction. Satyavrtamani is praying like this. Varam deva moksham na. I don't want liberation. I don't want liberation at all. Who is this? Satyavrtamani is saying this. What is a worthy aspiration? Liberation is never a worthy aspiration for a devotee. Moksha avadhimva. Avadhi. Moksha avadhi means the limit of liberation, or the highest limit of liberation, which is residence in the spiritual world. He says, I don't want that also. I don't want entrance into your Vaikuntha or the spiritual world. Then what do you want? Idam teva purnatha gopala balam sada me manasya virastam kimanyeh. Let this beautiful form of Bal Gopal be always manifest in my heart. Let me be Krishna conscious. Let me remember you. Let me meditate on your form. Let me be able to see your form. Let me be able to chant your names. Let me be able to serve you. These are worthy aspirations. In comparison to these aspirations of being Krishna conscious, liberation, even in staying in Vaikuntha, either personal liberation or impersonal liberation, they are not of much interest for a devotee. Salokya sarishti samipya sarupya aikatvam apyuta diyamanam na grihananti vinamat sevanam janaha. Seva is more important than sarupya mukti, salokya mukti, sarishti mukti and all these muktis. Seva. If that muktis come as a package with another seva, then devotee will accept. The Lord will say, okay, from today I am liberating you. I am giving you sarupya mukti. Take it. What is there in it? You will get a form like me. Oh, great. Anything else? Nothing else. Enjoy a form like me. I don't want your form, my dear Lord. I want your seva. If I can serve you with a form similar to you, I can accept the form. But I am not interested in your form. I am interested in your form. Means seeing your form. I am not interested in accepting your form. Attaining your form. I don't want your form. It's okay. Whatever form you give, it's okay. You whether keep me a human being or whatever, a man or woman also, I don't mind. So devotee is not interested in all that. Seva. I want seva. I don't want Sarupya Mukti. Same loka like me, Salokya Mukti. Seva hai kya? Nahi. What will I come to what will I do in Vaikuntha if there is no seva? Give me seva. Paraga seva ratiratma labdha. So devotee is constantly looking forward to serve Krishna in some capacity. And that's their aspiration. And that's what is happening in Vrindavan constantly. Sometimes you may get a limelight service. You may be leading in front, that is your service. Sometimes you may be in a low profile service. Sometimes you may be asked to jump across the Lanka ocean. Sometimes you are asked, just sit on the flag, that's all. Give blessings to Arjuna. Roar along with Bhima. That's the service of Hanuman. No more jumping across the Lanka ocean. If Hanuman wants, he could have made pulp chutney out of Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karna, Sekuni. But all that chutney you can do, you have already done with the Rakshasas. But these people, let my other devotees handle. Yes, my dear Lord, fine. Similarly, all the Shaktis of Vrindavan also, they are waiting for an opportunity to jump in and serve Krishna. When there is no service, they will just do Sravanam Kirtanam. That's all. So cultivate that satisfaction. Cultivate that adaptability and malleability in service. If you are simply satisfied with Shravanam and Kirtanam and always be ready to serve according to the need of the hour, then it's sufficient. When there is service opportunity, service need, you do your best. If there is not much service, you are not called for any seva, chant, read, hear. Nobody can take away your bead bag or Bhagavatam. You may be taken away from your, vendor, purchasing department. You may be given some other service. Not purchasing department, you do puja department. You may put in Brahman ho gaya na aapka. They'll ask you to do deity worship. Okay, chalega. They'll ask you to take bhoga to all the 7 temples of Vrindavan and then feed. Enough purchasing, just do some puja. Okay, kar lenge. But bead bag, nobody will say, stop this mantra. No more chanting. Nobody will say that. So hold on to things that are permanent. Don't be excited with temporary things and don't be disappointed when the temporary things are taken away from you. Some services are permanent. Some are circumstantial. Hanumanji's Lanka war lasted only for a few days, not forever. But Hanumanji's chanting of Ramnam, it's eternal. Right? Arjuna's Kurukshetra war lasted only for 18 days. But Arjuna's Krishna consciousness, forever. Forever. So focus on what is permanent. And do the needful when the service comes. Okay? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments? Yes, Mataji.
So it's not exactly like a question, but like you said now that if we align our will with the will of Krishna, then Krishna will align his will with that of devotee's will. But the devotee has no separate will than to align her will with the will of Krishna. Because we know that the will of Krishna is the ultimate will that Krishna will have for the devotee. So there is no separate will, because that's where you will get that happiness, that bliss. Like, when I pray that, I just want to align my will with your will. Please make me do what you have thought, like why you have sent me on this planet Earth. Because that's what you are supposed to do. So, I mean, I just wanted to share that. I mean, it's not like a question.
Yes.
But anything that you would like to say?
This is the ultimate understanding of Bhakti. There is no separate will. Krishna's will and devotee's will are same. There is no separate will. But sometimes there is a separation in the desires. whenever there is a separation, whenever there is a difference in the will of a devotee and the will of the Lord, that's where the need for alignment comes. It happened in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna's will is different from Krishna's will. And it happened in Damodar Leela, where Krishna's will is different from Yashoda Mata's will. Then finally, in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was transformed. He aligned his will with Krishna. In Damodar Leela, Krishna is transformed. Let me give up my will. Let me align my will with devotee's will. Right? So in Damodar Leela, Krishna said, okay, why am I so stubborn? Why am I making my mother struggle so much, endeavor so much? She already did so much for me. She got up early in the morning, she was churning butter, she gave me milk, she was running behind me throughout the streets of Vrindavan. Oh my God. He became little compassionate. Then his will is gone. Satya Sankalpa Shakti went and sat on a tree along with a monkey in Vrindavan. Vibhuti Shakti sat on another tree along with another monkey or peacock in Vrindavan. And Kripa Shakti is prevailing there. Then Krishna said, Kripayasit svabandhane. Svabandhane means, Swa means he. He himself bound himself. What does it mean? He is non-different from Yashoda. His desire is non-different from Yashoda Mata's desire. Therefore, all the Yashoda Mata is binding him. It is Krishna who bound himself. Because in consciousness, in desire, in aspiration, they have become one with each other. Any other question?
Sometimes by cultivating too much adaptability and malleability in service, sometimes it leads to exploitation and it may hamper our sadhana also. So how to manage it without doing any Vaishnava offense?
This is a very practical question. You know why that happens? Why your selflessness is exploited? Because those who are exploiting are not mature enough in bhakti. Ultimately, selflessness is spiritual, exploitation is material. If you are in material consciousness, we tend to exploit. If you are in spiritual consciousness, we are selfless. But there is another angle to it. When we are not mature enough, we perceive service opportunities as exploitation, thinking that we are selfless and they are exploited. It can be a perception also. If it is a reality, then my first explanation holds good. If it is a perception, then we need to improve. As long as we are not mature enough, as long as we still have some impurities and all, there is a possibility of misunderstanding. Either from their side or our side, there is a possibility of misunderstanding. So we need to be practical and not transcendental and clarify things. Oh, yeah, of course I'm selflessly serving and extending myself, but looks like you are not being sensitive enough while giving service. I think you better, not in an instructive tone, but in a humble and honest way, you can always mention, it's getting little too much, can you please adjust something? And probably they may not know. Unless you communicate with those people who are giving you seva, how will they understand? Are they Paramatma? So sometimes it's your responsibility to express yourself. And instead of perceiving it as an exploitation. It may not be intended exploitation. It may be a circumstantial need. Because you are extending yourself, they may be thinking that you are comfortable and they are giving you more. But if you clarify that it's getting too much for me, then they may not do it. Okay. If they don't do it, again you don't perceive, I am neglected, I am ignored. All these are, your mind will play so many games. Just be logical, don't get too emotional. That's the point. Does it make sense? Thank you. Yes, Prabhu. 1, 2. Raghav Kirtan, Prabhu. I have another class, but you need to remind me of time.
Prabhuji, can you focus on Bhakti Adhikar? Sometimes it happens that you
should have asked this question in the morning. Bhakti Adhikar. You were there in the morning?
The morning I was.
I know this is a class. This is a question based on morning class. Let's focus on today's topic.
No, you told about this also here, when you told about the Shravanam Kirtanam Dhyanat. When you told this understanding, and sometimes it happens that when we are reading these 10 canto topics, it comes to our mind also. Also, sometimes what you told in the morning class also, two are intermingled.
I didn't get. Shravanam Kirtanam?
No. Shravana Darshana Dhyanat. This
Correct.
verse you quoted and told that something to be taken and something to be.
Okay. I was speaking more in this tone. Sometimes we may tend to do certain things following the footsteps of exalted devotees, although we are not yet ready for it. We need to do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Darshanam, Dhyanam. But the gopis are beyond that basic elements of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So they said, we will not go back and do Shravan, Kirtan, Darshan, Dhyan. They are anyways doing that. But now is the time for us to perform Rasalila with you. So they were kind of pushing Krishna. Spend time with us. But in general, for all sadhakas, Shravana Darshan, Kirtan, Dhyan is more relevant, practical, as per their level of understanding. Does it make sense what exactly you are asking?
No, I'm asking that when we hear something from exalted devotees, we feel that is it to be adopted now, or is it to be kept in
directly ask them.
Parking.
Ask those people who know you. Instead of speculating, you may have your own self-analysis, that's good, introspect, but you can always get a confirmation. Am I qualified to read this book? Okay, let's give an example. Example makes it clear. You are reading 10th canto Bhagavatam now as a part of your study. Next you wanted to read Brihad Bhagavatamrit or Lalita Madhav or Vidagdha Madhav. You can ask whoever is your Shiksha Guru or whoever is guiding you. You can ask them, am I qualified to read this? They say, Abhinay, just complete Bhagavatam, complete Chaitanya Charitamrita, we'll discuss later after 1 year. They will tell you. So whether we are qualified for it or not, we can understand it by honest introspection plus some evaluation coming from a senior. Yes, Prabhu.
Harekrishna. Prabhuji, like this, when it comes to the voluntary servicing, so many times the thought is behind, like there may be multiple options available of services, but then we choose like the service age where I can gain some skills, I can have some appreciation or something. So how should like you see? Is it like the right thought, or the need is there? I am seeing there is no one is there, but I don't tend to do that service. But there are some services where I am learning the skills, I am gaining some information, I am gaining some name. More tend to that direction instead of seeing where there is need is there, but not looking at that. Yeah. So how should
thinking about yourself,
like
self-improvement,
like self-improvement more. That right word you are saying. Like how should I see that part?
We should give some liberty to other devotees to correct us. If we are not alone to make our decisions, we may have to focus on self-improvement, no doubt. But if the need of the hour is something else, especially when a senior is specifically requesting you to do it, then you need to extend yourself. If there's a genuine difficulty, you can express it. But if the overall tendency or mentality is to focus only on my sadhana, my seva, my improvement, my development of skills, my upgradation of my presentation skills or preaching skills, this and that, especially at the cost of compromising on the officially assigned service given by Guru or Guru's representative, that can be an obstacle in bhakti also to some degree. If you really have a sincere, deep desire in that direction, you can honestly put it in front of a mature Vaishnava, whoever is overseeing you, and take their blessings and go ahead. That's a very decent way of doing it. But if it is done little like an escapist, hiding, using some diplomacy, making them speak what you want to hear. If this kind of kutinati comes into picture, then it's not a healthy or pleasant way of devotional service, right? Yeah, you can focus on self-improvement, not an issue. But as you said, if there is a need in another service, and if you have the ability to extend yourself to do that service, if you have the time and bandwidth and all, what's your problem to extend? You can postpone your improvement of skills, or you can do them at your leisure. And if you have sincere intention, Krishna will facilitate both. You can do both. You will be able to accomplish both. We have seen examples of so many devotees who did the officially assigned services nicely, and they pursued other things also, their interests, devotional interests. And they satisfied the authorities also. Some are assigned services, some are voluntarily taken up services. You can attain success in both by your time management skills and all that, by your resource management skills, by your attention management skills. You will be able to do justice to both, not an issue. However, that has to be done in a dignified way, in a Vaishnava way, in a respectful way, not with a mindset that, hey, time pass, let me do this. If that attitude is there, then there is a problem. And if you are in a position to evaluate, if you are experienced enough to evaluate that, although you are saying that this service has to be done, I think that these are some things surrounding it. You can communicate, they may also listen. But even if you are not interested, express your lack of interest in a Vaishnava way, but not in a unpleasant way. Does that make sense?
And the second part of this is coming from the authorities. We have been voluntary service, option service, or doing service, and then our own skills and other things. And there is I am saying another part of there is a voluntary opportunity. No one is being informed. When it comes to the voluntary, we are putting our own endeavors. It's not some department is giving. So when many times mind tends to go for as I mentioned in the first case, there is need is there. Even though no one tells me, but mind goes not going there. Where there is also need is there, no one is there, but more tends to that skill, that mindset always there, the achieving mode and that gaining something. So
it's not wrong.
So how should that is it wrong, or is it how to balance it? That
Yeah, as long as you are not harming anyone, you are not being duplicitous or diplomatic, you are not manipulative, you are not compromising on your services that you received in the proper line. Having some interests to do some specific services is not wrong. After all, we are persons, we are individuals, we have our own tastes, we have our own talents. There's nothing wrong in it. However, while pursuing those interests, how much are you compromising Vaishnava etiquettes? That makes your interests good or bad, worthy or unworthy. So pursuing your own interests, which are under the umbrella of devotional service, definitely is all right. But as you said, if the desire is public attention, if the desire is achievement, accomplishment mode, after some years, seeing your maturity, seeing your sincerity, you will be given that opportunity. Okay, you can pursue this now. Seeing your attitude. Right from day one, you are saying, I'm independent. Actually, independence or some autonomy is offered to you as a gift of your surrender. As a gift for your surrender. Okay, he did sincere seva all these days. Let's give him little more free hand. Let's expand the scope of his autonomy. Let's expand his independence. Give him some free hand. Let him do more. So that independence is given. But from day one, if you are aspiring for that independence, that's detrimental for advancement. It's given, not demanded. Prabhu, you want to add anything? Please. You have a lot of realizations, I know. You can speak more profound answers than what I did. 4:50 I have a class, Prabhu. What's the time now? I think I need to go. We are meeting next week also. Okay, ask.
So Prabhuji, when Jashoda mother was trying to bind hard, she was trying hard, but Krishna was not reciprocating first. So also we try to do on service. And when should we stop that it is not aligning with the Lord's will? And to do that service, somebody is appreciating, somebody is not appreciating also. So how can we understand that it should be continued, the service?
As I told him also, we are not alone in bhakti. We have some seniors, we have some friends, we have some authorities, we have some spiritual masters, Siksha Gurus, Diksha Gurus. So there are so many people next to you to help you take the proper decision, isn't it? If you are confused, why should you hold on to that confusion? You should immediately go and say, Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammodha chetaha yaha shreyasya nischitam bruhitan me sishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Then it's their responsibility to bring you from dharma sammodha cheta to nashto moha smritir labdha tat prasadan mayachyuta sthitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. Getting right? Here dharma sammodha chetaha, confusion in dharma. There nashto moha, all confusions are gone. They will bring you from confusion to clarity. If they confuse you more, you go to someone who can clear the confusion. You choose whom to ask, which question. You take that responsibility. That much discretion you should have. Right? Sometimes if you go to somebody and then he's busy with something and then they'll say something and you are obliged to follow. Of course, very elevated devotees, even their spontaneous instructions, apparently without much thought also, are proven effective. But sometimes you ask somebody and they will say something from top of their head and it may not be the best decision, best suggestion. So you need to ask mature devotees who can guide you. Okay? Hare Krishna. Okay? Thank you very much. So I wish you all a happy Kartik month and Kartik Yatra. Probably this is the last class before our Yatra, or do you have one more? One more? Okay, fine. I'll tell you then. Thank you very much. Shri Kartik Mahamahotsav ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.